It is my honor to introduce Frank Blankenbeckler. He is a native of Waxahachie, Texas, graduated from Waxahachie High School, went to the University of Texas where he lettered in basketball, and came back home to Waxahachie and entered the business that his grandfather started in 1926. He is one of the civic leaders in Waxahachie. He and his family have been major donors to every civic improvement in the last 50 years in that community. And as I said in my opening statement last year, his business and the 40 employees generated revenues that resulted in over $1.3 million in taxes being paid to various state, local, and federal entities. He is considered one of the leading entrepreneurs, businessmen, philanthropists of his hometown, and I consider him to be a personal friend. So we're honored to have him here, and as I said earlier, I think he represents hundreds, if not thousands, of family-owned dealerships that have been in business for decades, and most of those dealerships hopefully want to continue in a positive business relationship that is positive for themselves and for General Motors and Chrysler and Ford, who's not here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And so also I understand Mr. Blankenbeckler's son, Austin's here, right? He's also in the car business? Okay, thank you. Your opening statement, please, sir.
My name is Frank A. Blankenbeckler III. I'm the dealer principal of Carlisle Chevrolet-Cadillac Jeep in Waxahachie, Texas. To my knowledge, the oldest Chevrolet dealership in the state of Texas. The Cadillac line was added in 1990, and the Jeep line was added around 1978. This dealership was operated continuously in the same community under the same family ownership since 1926. The dealership was founded in 1926 by my maternal grandfather, Y.C. Carlisle. My father, Frank A. Blankenbeckler, Jr., who was awarded a Bronze Star for his service to his country at Bastogne during World War II, and who received a master's in tax law from Harvard, married my mother in 1947, and moved to Waxahachie to be the dealer at Carlisle Chevrolet for the next 55 years. I graduated from the University of Texas in 1974 with an MBA. Since that time, I've had one job. I've been a GM Jeep dealer for nearly 35 years. Approximately 3 years ago, my son graduated from Ole Miss and joined me at the dealership to fulfill his childhood dream of being an automobile dealer, like his father, his grandfather, and his great-grandfather before him. During these 84 years of dealership ownership and operation, my family has been one of the most generous and civic-minded in Waxahachie. My family was very instrumental in the founding of Baylor Hospital there, the YMCA, served on the school board, and made many other numerous contributions, too numerous to mention. The point of this type of introduction is to state that my family has been an integral and generous part of Waxahachie for a long time. On May 13th, I received a letter from Chrysler. It stated I would no longer be a Jeep dealer after June 9. On May 14th, I received a letter from GM stating that my Chevrolet and Cadillac dealer agreements would not be extended beyond 2010. In 24 hours, I was told that everything my family and I have worked for 84 years would be taken away with no compensation. I've introduced a folder which conveys some facts about Carlisle Chevrolet. I would like to request this folder and the balance of my testimony to be entered into the record.
Without objection, Mr. Walden had supplied it to the committee. Without objection, they'll be part of your testimony.
The pages of this folder show the location of the dealership, include an article by the local paper, and a page of facts about the dealership. I would particularly encourage you to look at the total amount of taxes paid by Carlisle in 2008, about $1.3 million. It contains sales history, CSI scores, and a couple of articles about the dealership that is located next door. I can assure you that Carlisle is not the bottom of the heap in regards to its peers per this folder. I want to make mention of my employees. Over the years, Carlisle has had numerous employees that have worked for my family for 35 to 50 years. Time doesn't permit me to do them justice. My point is Carlisle has had and currently has the best people in the industry. I would like to mention to the committee the human element of these actions by GM and Chrysler. Nearly 90 souls depend on Carlisle for their existence. With our closing, these people will be subjected to serious economic hardship. I've had numerous offers to sell my business. I have had that right taken away. My family will be left with a single-purpose dealership facility with no tenant. This is senseless. My grandfather paid for Carlisle Chevrolet from his labors. My father paid my grandmother for Carlisle Chevrolet through his efforts. It took me nearly 20 years to pay my parents for Carlisle Chevrolet. It took GM and Chrysler a mere 24 hours to take Carlisle Chevrolet from me. This makes no sense. Why is this happening? GM and Chrysler have stated publicly they have not used the bankruptcy code to usurp state and local motor vehicle codes and statutes. This is patently not true. I don't care how it's spun. GM dealers have offered either a wind-down agreement or a participation agreement. The content of the agreements is horrible. Dealers are told to either sign the agreements or GM will petition the bankruptcy court to have them immediately terminated. There is no alternative to signing these new agreements. This is wrong. Now I'd like to address what I think is the most important part of my testimony. In a period of 24 hours, my business was essentially taken from me with no real explanation other than that these are difficult times. How in this country can a man's property be taken without due process and without compensation and apparently given to another dealer with better political connections who has been in my community for less than a year for nothing? I adamantly think my constitutional rights have been violated. I think I'm a victim of an illegal taking. This is the most important point of this hearing in my mind, and I think it is the feeling of all the dealers that are in the same position. I feel like it should be the concern of all Americans. When your property rights are destroyed, how long will it be until it happens to you? I'm hurt. I feel violated, and I'm extremely upset. I wear my father's Bronze Star label pin on my coat. He was truly a member of the greatest generation. I'm glad that he is not alive to witness this terrible injustice. To have risked his life for a country that do what they're doing would have destroyed him. I love my country, and I love my state. I feel great pain in what is happening. It is my hope and my prayer that I will be able to continue my life and not be consumed by bitterness should this situation not be reversed and this country not return to the tenets of the founding fathers who created it. Thank you for hearing my testimony.